Hi, everybody. This is Tommy Lasorda. Listen to The Sandlot, the best thing that could happen to you.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Are you crying?
It's a part of our past, Ray.
There's no crying.
It reminds us of all that once was good.
There's no crying in baseball.
Just a bit outside.
Baseball will be very, very good to me.
It's a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball.
Personally, I think we got holes on that.
The Sandlot Radio Network is on the air. And now, starting pitcher for the Sandlot, former pro player and Major League scout, Ted Powers.
This is National League All-Star Justin Upton.
Hi, this is Shane Victorino.
Hi, this is Albert Pujols.
Hi, this is David Wright.
It's Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Welcome to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera and sponsored by the Sandlot Radio Network, Grit Sports Collective, Guzman E. Gomez, and Freestyle Pool Sydney. You can tune into the Sandlot every weekend on Sirius XM Radio MLB Network podcast platform and on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pandora, Apple Music, and Simplecast. Over the last 2 weeks on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast, we have featured a father and son, Trent and Max Durrington. Father Trent played professional baseball and made it to the big leagues for over 5 years. Trent represented Australia in the first ever World Baseball Classic, and now his son Max is in his second season of professional baseball with the Oakland Athletics and will represent Australia in this year's World Baseball Classic. This week on the Sandlot, after featuring Takara Geldenhays, a young Australian from the Cronulla Association, who will also play in the newly formed Women's Professional Baseball League, now we have arguably the best female baseball player in Australia, Caitlin Eynon, a shortstop from WA, who will also be playing in the WBPA starting in August. We also caught up with Micheal Ibbotson, another product of the Cronulla Junior and Seniors, now the National Tournament Manager for Baseball Australia, to tell us how he became a baseball lifer. We are going to start you off with Western Australia shortstop, member of Australia's women's national baseball team, and now a professional about to play in the Women's Professional Baseball League in Springfield, Illinois, Caitlin Eynon. We also have our Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast champion character of the week from St. Pat's, Liam Alexander. We're with one of the newest members of the Women's Professional Baseball League. It's going to start this summer in August in Illinois, close to where I grew up. We're with Caitlin Eynon. Caitlin, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I've had Takara on my show, and Takara mentioned to me that the best baseball player in the country for females is Caitlin Eynon from Western Australia. And then when you sent me your bio and I saw some of the things, you know, Gold Glove, Golden Arm, just it makes a lot of sense. And you were the second draft pick from Australia and 47th overall by this new professional league. So somebody knows how good you are. And I want to know where it all started, because typically girls don't play baseball. Baseball's not the biggest sport in this country either. I mean, it's considered a secondary sport. So how did Caitlin Eynon start playing baseball out of all the other things she could have done?
So I started back when I was about 5-6 years old through the T-ball ranks, and that was just a family thing. So I have got two older brothers. We all just started playing T-ball. There's a lot of kids at school whose families were involved with T-ball, so we all kind of started playing together at that time. Went to a few state championships for T-ball, just really liked the competitive tournament style of T-ball. And then obviously just moved into baseball when I was about 8, playing Little League. Went to state championships for Little League, which followed on to Little League Nationals. I think, just the competitiveness. And I was the only girl on most of the teams I ever played on up until I was 15 odd years old when I played in my first women's team. I think just trying to sort of overcome the challenges that come with that was probably one of the biggest reasons why I stayed. And then, just moved into playing tournament baseball, women's national championships, then onto the Australian team. But I think I did get pushed into softball a little bit when I was probably around 10 or 11. I remember going to a few of the Perth Heat camps at that time, and it was, you've got the base skills there, but, being a female trying to break into the baseball world, it's probably not going to happen for you. Here's softball. I went to a couple of softball camps and I couldn't have run back to baseball any faster. I like the style of the game. I loved everything about it. And yeah, I've never played a softball game in my life, but I've been to one camp and that was enough for me to know that I wanted to stick with baseball. So it's kind of how it started.
That's funny because Takara says the same thing. She said she learned baseball. She didn't even know about softball. And when she saw softball, she just wasn't interested because she'd already started playing baseball and she was not just competing, but kicking the boys' butts. And when you get that feeling of not only can I compete with them, but I'm pretty good against all of them, that gives you a pretty good idea that if there was just girls out here, I'd probably be really good at this game.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And I suppose a lot of girls get pushed into softball. And if you can be sort of that one person that's doing something different, it's that exciting feeling like I am that person that's, being the change sort of thing. So that's probably a big reason why both of us stay with baseball. We kind of wanted to create that pathway a little bit as well and not do the ordinary thing that everyone else does.
There's a girl named Mo Davis who's going to play with you, and she was in the Little League World Series. She was one of the first girls to really make a huge impact at the Little League World Series, and I think she threw like a complete game shutout, had like a 15 strikeout game, and she was out there dominating, and it really put girls on the Little League campaign trail, really, because after that, I saw more and more girls playing Little League baseball. Little League offers softball as well, but certain girls decide, you know what, I'm going to stick with baseball, and now they really have a reason to, because there's a new professional baseball league. Just like back in the day when we all saw the movie League of Their Own, they had a league for women professionally way back in the day during World War II, and it hasn't been since then that there's been one. So now girls like you and Takara have a reason to take the baseball as far as you can, because I saw it's not a bad deal what you guys got going when you go over there and play in this pro league.
Yeah. No, it's definitely exciting. I think it's one of those things that now the younger girls actually have a definitive pathway that they can look up to. When we were sort of going through Little League, it was kind of, you make the Australian team, you get to play for your country, and that's kind of as far as you'll ever go. But knowing there's that extra pathway internationally where you get to play with players for up to 10 weeks, from all around the world, I think that's really exciting. And they can see a really clear outline pathway of what they can work towards. So.
Yeah, and I love it for the girls that they now have a choice. And before you just really didn't have the choice. But now there's a World Cup for women's baseball, which you've played in. And there's going to be another one. Is it every 4 years or 3 for women's?
So it starts every 3 years. So you've got a group stage every 3 years, and then every 4 years you've got the finals. So it's a 3-year campaign, but 4 years in total.
Okay. So you'll have another one of those coming up here in another 2 years.
No, so this year. So we've got our group stage this year. And then next year will be the final stage. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, it's a lot of baseball to look forward to between that and then also playing in this pro league. It's a lot of baseball.
Yeah, so it's going to line up well for us because the first group stage is set for in Chicago just before the professional league starts, and then we're waiting for the announcement of the second group stage at the moment. So yeah, it could work out. A lot of baseball this year.
And it's something that you guys have been looking forward to, because I know Takara, she's pretty gung-ho, and she never misses a game with the men's team that she plays on. And when I say men, they're grown men. Some of these guys are in their 40s. There's some young 19-year-old, 18-year-old kids on the team, but there's some guys that were really good when they were younger that are playing, and she hangs with all of them. Yeah.
I think you kind of have to. Like, you need to sort of just throw yourself in the deep end a little bit. I do the same over here, and there's a fair few girls over here that play in high-level men's divisions. There's a couple of us playing in men's reserves at the moment. And just the level you get there, it's the perfect preparation for things like this. Our women's leagues, they're growing, but they're not quite at the level that we would like to have for our preparation. So I think it's really cool that, we're accepted into those sort of leagues.
Well, I have a lot of history over there in Perth, and a friend of mine, Tony Adamson, has been on my show, and his son Corey took his baseball game very far as well. But Tony was one of the best power hitters to ever come out of Australia, and he's from Western Australia. And you might want to listen to that show because he talks about pathways for Australian baseball players. And now it's not just boys, it's girls. And I think it'd be a really good one for you to listen to. But I've known Tony since 1989, the first time I came to Perth to play. And if you know Tony, ask him the story about the Sydney Metros and how they got to Perth to play them that year.
I shall. I've had the pleasure of facing Corey in a few at-bats over the last couple of years in men's. So yeah, sort of know the history of that family a little bit.
Yeah. And, like I said, Tony was an icon for a lot of years in WA, but also on the national level for Australia. So, and WA seems to compete no matter what. It doesn't have the biggest population of baseball, but somehow at these Australian Championship Series for boys and for girls, because you won a gold medal, it seems like WA always puts out some really good ball players.
Yeah, definitely. I think culturally over here we've come a long way. We've really set the standard for the culture that we want to build within all of our state teams. We've had some awesome coaches come through the ranks as well, so I think that's probably a big part. Our boys under 18 squad this year came away with a silver medal, undefeated until the last game. We've always been in contention for medals every year with the women's side of things as well. So WA's in a really good hands over here, and really bright future for sure.
You got some good facilities over there, and you got great weather. It's one of the coolest places to play baseball as far as I'm concerned, because it's so isolated. It's such a clean city, and the facilities that I've played at and that I know exist today are really about as good as they get in Australia. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love Perth. Weather's definitely a big plus over here. It's absolutely awesome facility-wise for baseball as well. And we have really good access to a lot of high-quality coaches. So we're definitely very fortunate. And you're going to get the weather that you have in Illinois in August is going to be similar to what some of your hottest days are over in Perth. It's a real humid, hot heat over there in the Midwest. So you're going to sweat it out a little bit, maybe more than you ever have. Because I was going to say, we get a lot of dry heat over here, but we're definitely used to the 40 degrees. So I'm sure, we'll acclimatize. Yes, I mean, you're used to the heat, but again, it is a dry heat over there in Perth, and you guys are correct. You know what? I think you have the perfect baseball weather over there in WA. Yeah, I think so too. Now was there any major league teams that you were kind of eyeballing and watching and liking, and maybe even looking at players from that team that you like? Or has it always just been whatever's right there in front of you in Australian baseball? I never really got too deep into the whole watching major leagues. I was someone who could never really watch baseball. I had to be out there playing it. So even if it was on the TV, I couldn't sit still and watch. Like, even if I saw something, I'd have to go and practice it. I could never sit still long enough to actually watch a major league game. So I think definitely I followed a lot of the ex-Emeralds players. So a lot of the women's players, so your likes of Christina Kreppold, Nat House, Bronwyn Gell, those sort of players that played my position, and I kind of watched what they did, got to train with them a little bit towards the back ends of their careers. You couldn't keep me sitting still long enough to actually watch enough Major League. What about Perth Heat? Did you see those quite a bit when you were a kid? I definitely went to a lot of Heat games as a kid. I try to get to some every now and then now, but I went to a lot of the Heat camps run by the Heat players back in the day through Little League. So we do like camps over the Christmas period, week-long camps, just training and then playing games in the afternoon. So I was exposed to the Heat a little bit, but yeah. And one of the cool things about that, having exposure to those guys when you were a young kid, learning some of the best information that you can about baseball usually comes from those types of people that can show you, not just talk about it, can actually physically show you. Yeah, absolutely. Like it's awesome to be coached by these people is one thing, but actually to hear about their experiences as players as well. So you hear about the hardships they've been through and just the general way they carry themselves and play the game. You can definitely pick up a lot of that side of things as well. So it's awesome. You're listening to Caitlin Eynon, and she is the second overall pick in the Women's Professional Baseball League from Australia, and she's going to get a chance to play for professional baseball this coming season over in Illinois, Central Illinois. And I just want to let you know that it's a really cool thing that you're about to get involved in. You're listening to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. Don't go away. We have more from Caitlin Eynon when we return. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera.
This is Trent Durrington, former big leaguer, son of hopefully a future big leaguer, but Max, who's playing in the WBC here in a couple of weeks. Very fortunate, big fan of the Sandlot podcast. And Dad, thanks for having me on, and go Australia.
My name's Max Durrington. I'm with the athletics organisation and heading over to Team Australia, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, A new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG. Crunchy cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
Hi, everybody. This is Rick Mundy, former Major League player, former All-Star, and now broadcaster with the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're tuned in exactly where you need to be. It's Sandlot, and it's baseball.
Talking baseball, the man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque.
Especially Shohei, Mookie, and the Judge. Welcome back to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast, presented by Diego Austin Talavera. I'm your host, Tad Powers. Now we have more from Caitlin Eynon, Australian women's national team shortstop with the golden arm and the golden glove. We're back with Caitlin Eynon. She is one of the newest players from the Women's Professional Baseball League. And there's women from all over the world that are going to be playing together in a pro league for the first time. And I think it's about 60 years since that happened, maybe even longer. So it's a big thing. And just like there's a women's professional basketball league that's been around for quite a while and has had support from the NBA, looks like MLB has got behind this thing because they realize there's some very talented girls playing baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's exciting to have the MLB behind us as well. They follow along for the journey, and I'm excited to see what sort of influence I'll have over this league as well.
Let's talk about some of the tournament. I know you've gone to Japan a couple times and got to train there and play there. What has that international travel been like for you? Because, like I said, WBA is pretty isolated. Until you play in one of those Australian Youth Championship series that takes you out of the state, you guys don't need to leave WBA that often. So what has it been like to get to travel with the women's state teams and the national teams?
I think it's awesome going to a national championships because you really get a gauge of where you sit compared to the rest of the country, because obviously you're versing everyone that you're up against for Australian selection as well. So it's awesome to just get a gauge where you sit compared to those girls. And I think as far as international travel goes, going to places like Japan, it really prepares you for events like World Cup. You're traveling halfway around the world. It's not just the preparation for the baseball side of things, but it's your actual preparation and your actual travel itself, things like that. But yeah, just being able to verse players from places like Japan, you just get a whole new appreciation for how hard they train and the different training styles. There's a lot of stuff that we learned over in Japan, baseball-wise, like specific drills that we could bring back home. A lot of stuff that we'd never even seen before. So it was really awesome to be exposed to how the rest of the world plays and trains for baseball.
And the level of discipline over in Japan, too. I've never seen it with the girls, but I've seen it with the men. And it's a different level of dedication to their craft.
Yeah, absolutely. We burst high school teams. So not even, they're still 15, 16, 17 years old. And the way these girls carried themselves and just the work ethic and the respect they have for each other, their coaches, the game, everything about that. It was absolutely inspiring. We were just absolutely in awe, to be honest, of the way they carry themselves, the way they go about it. And yeah, we just learned so much from them. Even at that level, they were just absolutely insane.
And it's good to see that. And then everywhere you go, everybody that you get exposed to, you take a little bit away from that. And all that makes you a better baseball player. And the more you play this game, the better you get at it. And I always, I played with some guys in high school that said, I was better than you in high school. Yeah, you were. But I kept playing. You quit playing, and I kept playing, and you just keep getting better. So you have that to look forward to. You're not going to turn 23 till this May, right? You're 22 right now. And let me ask you, were you 16 the first time you made the national team?
Yeah, it would have been at the time. Yeah.
That's pretty young to be on a women's national team of any type, to be 16 years old. You had to be the youngest girl there.
Yeah, I would have been. I think there was 2 16-year-olds there, but yeah, definitely one of the younger ones. But that was back in the day. I was kind of only focusing on pitching at the time then. So if I was gonna make the team, it was gonna be just as a pitcher only. But then probably since that camp, that was kind of when I really tried to lock down on infield and shortstop in particular. So that camp actually meant a lot to me in terms of trying to cement my position moving forward.
That's a position on any baseball field. If you can play that position and play it well, your team is a better team. And it's such a skilled position. Ability to get the ball, exchange it into your throwing hand, find the seam, shuffle your feet, get everything in a line and make a strong throw. It's a lot that goes on, and it happens very quickly. And then we got turning double plays, all that stuff. And I got to play middle infield right up until pro ball. So I know what that's like. And back then, the base runner would try to take us out. So we had to do a lot of this run and jump thing that we don't have to do anymore because they can't slide into us the way they used to. But man, I love playing middle infield. And when you're the best player on the field, that's where you want to be. It's the most action. And I bet the girls ground out to short a lot. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I do get a lot of ground balls for short, but it is absolutely my favorite thing in the world to do. I could sit and take ground balls all day. So that's kind of how I knew, shortstop was the position I wanted to play. And it's one of those positions where you can really dive in. You can dive down a whole rabbit hole of, footwork, presentation, everything like that. There's so much that goes into it. It's not so much a reactive position, say like third and first base on the corners. You've got a little bit more time. You can dance with the ball a little bit, and it's one of the harder positions to play just because you've got a lot you've got to control there, especially as far as plays goes, your communication with the pitcher, with the outfield, everything like that you've got to run. But I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. I absolutely love that position.
I got to ask you, because you got the golden arm at the last AYC championships. So one of my favorite things to do was to be at that relay man that was going to throw somebody out at third or home and being the lead on that double cut and getting that ball and knowing that you had a chance to throw someone out or third or home. That was like one of the most exciting things for me. Is it for you too? Knowing that there's a girl around in second, I got the ball and I'm going to hose her at third.
It's definitely satisfying. It's always, the ball's in the air and you go, don't go too early, but you get so excited about this play. But yeah, definitely one of the more exciting moments for sure.
Yeah, and that double play is the other one, especially the one hit back to the pitcher where they got to turn and throw it to you and you got to field it, touch the bag, and then change your momentum towards first. That was always one of my favorites as well.
It's actually one of the toughest. I think a lot of people underestimate how tough that play is because, like you say, momentum's kind of going 90 degrees from where it needs to be going. So it's definitely one of the hardest, but it is very satisfying when you make it happen and it's bang, bang. So yeah.
And girls play on 90 feet. So I think you got some time, as a shortstop, you have time because I'm guessing an average would be about 5 seconds to get down there 90 feet because major league players run an average of 4.3. So I'm guessing you guys got maybe 5 seconds to make that play.
Yeah, we do work off 5 seconds for the quicker runners, but obviously because we use the, or over here especially, we use the USSSA bat, so the composite bat. So it does pop off the bat a lot faster. So the ball's in your hands a little bit quicker as well. So we do have some fast runners, but just purely because of the fact that the ball's off the bat a lot faster, you do have that little bit of extra time in comparison to when we play in the men's. They obviously hit the ball harder, but because they use wood and because they run faster, it's definitely more of a challenge to throw them out. Plays in the men's that, I would normally take 2 crow hops, for example, in the women's, like moving my feet, I can't do in the men's. Some of the times it's, balls in the glove, you're throwing on the spot. There's no time to actually move your feet towards first base. So that's one of the changes I definitely noticed between the playing shortstop in the men's and the women's comps. But yeah, just the way the ball comes off the bat in the women's, because it's that composite, does make it, obviously there's a little bit more speed to it as well. So there's kind of multiple different aspects that come into play there.
This first season of this women's professional baseball league, you're going to be a shortstop. Takara is going to be an outfielder. 2 other Aussies are going to be over there with you, as far as I know. Girls from Canada, the U.S., and other countries are going to be playing in this league. And because of where it's located, I think you're going to get some pretty good fan support. And I think you'll get really good crowds. So you got a lot to look forward to, Caitlin.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. We don't really play in front of crazy crowds over here. So it's definitely exciting to know that could be the case. But I think just in general, the fact that we get to, put the 9 to 5s aside for a little bit and go over there, and the sole focus is just playing baseball with like-minded people who just want to get better and play at the highest possible level. So that's probably the most exciting part about it for me.
Another thing that's really cool for you right now is that Australia men's has a World Baseball Classic team that's over in Japan training right now, getting ready for that. That is a big deal for the men's, and they're going to play in the Olympics in 2008 and in 2032, which sounds weird to say. It's in Brisbane, and hopefully baseball will still be a gold medal sport, and that does nothing but help the women's game as well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to boost our profile and hopefully put us on the map a little bit more as a country. When the rest of the world comes over here and sees what we have to offer, the facilities, the training, the coaching staff, everything like that we've got going on. So hopefully it really helps us cement that ideology that we want to create for Australian baseball, that we can compete with the best in the world. So yeah, hopefully it does put us on the map a little bit more.
And you guys, I have a feeling that you guys will win a World Cup gold medal very soon, based on the level of talent that I've seen just with a few girls that I know are on that team. I think you guys will win a World Cup gold medal.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We got a little bit unlucky last time, but we came within one run of the USA, for example. We went down to USA 2-1. Our game against Mexico went to extra innings. We've come really close every time, but just couldn't get it over the edge. So I think this time around, we're just going to really make sure that the only focus for that team is winning. Everything else is put aside, and hopefully, we can do it. I think we can. So, yeah.
Well, I like your positive attitude. She's Caitlin Eynon, and she is one of the best, if not the best, women's baseball player in the continent of Australia. I've heard it from several sources, and you get a chance to prove it this summer. And not only will that be in front of some decent crowds, but I think they're going to find a way to stream it so that people back in Australia can watch their favorite female baseball players play on TV.
Yeah, it's definitely very exciting to, the idea of playing in front of crowds and playing for the fans back home on TV and our families, friends, everything like that. So I'm very excited and really excited to see what's to come this year baseball-wise, because it sounds like it's going to be a pretty action-packed year.
Caitlin Eynon, thank you so much for being a guest on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We're with our Sandlot Champion Character of the Week, Liam Alexander. He's from the St. Pat's Club. Liam, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Yeah, thank you, Dad.
I've known you for 3 years now. I've watched you get better at this game of baseball. What is it about this game? How did you get involved? What is it that you love about it? Because I always see you grinning when you're playing.
The thing that I love about baseball, right, is that I always get to play with my friends and build up new friendships, and I get to learn from all my coaches. I started to play this game because my friend told me about it, and I'm like, why not? I'll just give it a go. And when I gave it a go, I absolutely loved it, and ever since then I've been playing, and yeah, it's definitely a big thing in my life now, because now I want to go to that bigger step, and that's pretty much it, how I got into baseball.
That's cool. Yeah, I got a friend that convinced you that it was a cool sport, and you went and tried it, and you played it, and you liked it because you were pretty good at it. And I think you've been playing how many years now?
This is my 4th year.
Okay, so I met you 3 years ago, so it was after you'd been playing a year, and I could see that you were a good player and you were enjoying yourself. Came to camp. You learned some good skills. The next time I saw you, Liam was a better ball player. And then got a chance to work with him again. A few more of these little finer points of the game, and the next thing you know, Liam's a better ball player. So I see you getting better all the time. And that's what it takes in this game, is we get a little bit better every time we go. And as long as you got the right attitude towards it, you will do it. And that's one of the reasons you're the Sandlot Champ of the Week, because you got the great positive mental attitude. I've seen you be a mentor to some of the other kids that might not have some of the same abilities as you. I've seen you persevere because like I said, you hold yourself accountable when you mess up. And that takes a lot of guts. And that's honor in the last name of Alexander right there. And you're a great sportsman as well. Those are all the things that make up a Sandlot champ. And you're one of those guys, Liam. So baseball teams in the major leagues that you like.
Well, the major league team that I like is Los Angeles Dodgers.
Wait a minute. Wait. Why is it that you've only been playing 4 years? The last 3 years, they've won a World Series. Or 3 of the last 4 years, they've won a World Series. So in your baseball life, they've done nothing but win for you. So I get it. Tell me why you like the Dodgers.
I like the Dodgers so much because I just like how they play, how they get to work with each other. It seems kind of cool. I like how they get to win games, especially their really good player, Shohei Ohtani. He's a really good player and one of my favourite players. I like how he crushes the ball, hits home runs, and wins games for his team.
And he pitches on top of that, which makes him such a rare thing. And when you mention he's a pretty good player, this may be the best player that ever lived, bud, from a pitching and hitting and running standpoint. The only thing we don't get to see the dude do is play a position. But when it comes to hitting, running bases, and pitching, he's as good as anyone that's ever played the game of baseball.
Yeah.
There's a few other good players on that team. Who else you like on the Dodgers?
I like Mookie Betts and Micheal Rojas.
Okay, good. And Miguel Rojas, big home run in the World Series this year. I hope you got to see that. That was a big deal for him. And he's coming back for another year. That's cool, buddy. So the Dodgers, Ohtani, or Mookie Betts, who we've had on the show, all these guys, I get to see them up close, and I think I've showed you videos of them doing the same drills that I make you guys do, because I want you guys to get to that level where it becomes innate what you do with your glove and your hands. And you got to see that up close in the videos, and now you've done the drills, and as long as you keep doing that, those balls will be coming into your glove very naturally. There's a guy named Travis Bazzano, who was the number 1 overall pick in the draft 2 years ago. He's an Australian. That gives you guys a reason, but you're also playing Little League Baseball. And this year, you're in Little League Division 1. So if your Cronulla team wins the state tournament, then you top 3 go to the Nationals. Then if you win the Nationals, you get to go to Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series. And there's been other Cronulla teams before you that have done it. So it's a pretty cool thing. This year is a big year for you, Liam.
Yeah.
So you got to keep working hard at those skills so you can help that team win and get a chance to go to Williamsport, because, man, that's an experience of a lifetime.
I'd really like that experience.
Again, he's all grins. He's Liam Alexandra. He loves the game of baseball. He's our Sandlot Champion Character of the Week on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. Thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot, Liam.
Thank you, Dad.
Don't go away. When we return to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast, we have former Cronulla junior and senior, now Baseball Australia's national tournament manager, Micheal Ibbotson. When we return to the Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera.
My name is Takar Kheldanace, and I was drafted by the Boston Black Sox, and I listen to the Sandlot.
I'm Caitlin Eynon from Western Australia. I play in the Women's Australian National Team, and I've just been drafted to the Women's Professional Baseball League, and I listen to the Sandlot podcast.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG. crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
Hey everybody, this is Trevor Hoffman, a Hall of Famer and a San Diego Padre, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
We're with the Baseball Australia National Tournament Manager, Micheal Ibbotson. Ibby, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast.
Yeah, happy to be here, mate. Looking forward to the chat.
1993 is the first year I came to Cronulla. How old were you then, Ibby?
Well, I was born in 83, so 10 years old.
Okay. And what was the first age that you might have come to one of my camps or the mini camps that we used to run for the clubs?
Yeah, I reckon it wasn't long after you got there, because I still remember the Cronulla Grade Club used to hand out these cards, and you come down and get a free drink and a sausage.
Yes.
And I remember I had your autograph on my first glove.
There you go.
So I got a new one when I was about 11, I reckon, so it was pretty soon.
All right. Well, that means that I've known you since probably 1993, 94, and you got to see how Cronulla baseball developed in that period of time, and we really did some things that helped it become the type of club that other people around Australia wanted to model themselves around. And you got to be a part of that as a youngster. You got to see, we did the tournament every year. We'd bring teams from Colorado and Texas, and we had a tournament at Christmas because I felt like there was too many days off in between the break at Christmas time and that we'd go backwards. And by playing that tournament, we'd play 10 games in just, a week. And it kind of, the second half of the season for the juniors and the seniors, we kind of would run away with it for the state cup kids. And, because we had the under 12s, 14s, and 16s tournaments. And then we had an open tournament so that our men could play in a tournament during that big long break that I think is terrible for the game. And I think it just helped us be ready for the second half of the season. A lot of other teams were playing catch up.
Yeah. I mean, I remember those. I think the first one was maybe when I was 13 years old. We had a few years there. We had some Colorado guys stay at our place, and that was always a good time. The tournaments themselves are memorable.
So you got to experience that. And then when you became a part of the Grade Club was pretty good at that point. And so you got to be a part of a really good senior level club that was kind of setting themselves apart from the other clubs in Sydney anyway.
Yeah, well, I know, so when I think I got into the 18s about 1997, 98, and the workout regime and the physical sort of preparation as much as the baseball preparation were both as important as each other. It definitely was a community, right? Top down, there was, as soon as you got there was support from, it wasn't a big league type feel other than, just the baseball itself. It was everyone's in this together. So, being a catcher, there was some great catchers there. And I know I got some tutelage and looked up to a lot of guys that helped me improve. And that was part of why I loved being around Cronulla, especially from the early days.
I met you when we were 10, but when did you start playing and why? Why did you start playing baseball?
I think I was 7. My good mate, he lived about 6 doors down, and he was just playing. I didn't have a summer sport and said, "Do you want to come play T-ball?" His mum used to coach, and she literally just taught us the rules just in case the ball landed in your glove. You knew what to do with it. So that was we learned to play the game the right way right from the top. It didn't matter about winning. It was learn how to play, and you could see how quickly we progressed. And I guess that was probably another reason right from the start why I enjoyed it. Had good friends and learned how to play, in a way that we got better quick, and that's always a fun part.
During that time, too, the ABL was pretty strong, and so young Australian players had that to look up to. But were there major league teams that you were following at that time?
Not that early on. A little while on, I know Dan was a Cardinals fan, and they were sort of around TV. It was hard to watch a game on TV back then. So I ended up a Cardinals fan. Yeah, so there's some guys I looked up to and enjoyed watching. There's some good baseball in Cardinal land.
Oh, no doubt. And they take it serious there in the Midwest. And during that time, I think they had Albert Pujols. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the other players that maybe that you were like, man, this Cardinals, and here's this guy that does this. Is there any other players other than Albert Pujols, who's the first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, well, the Albert one, it was definitely my favorite player. We just got a couple of new puppies, and my wife wouldn't let me name one of them Albert. She didn't think it was a good dog name. So I named him Mac, after Mark McGuire. But Yadier Molina, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching Yadi catch for a long time, and just a gamer the whole way through, smart. Obviously, he wasn't the fastest guy around, but, he used everything else he had to make himself a Hall of Famer.
Catching's changed a lot, and back when you were catching, it was a traditional style, and that's what Yadi did his whole career, and I don't think there's ever been a better catcher than maybe Johnny Bench. And those guys were traditional catchers, and now we got kids that are doing this one knee stuff and trying to pick, and everyone I've talked to, pitchers-wise especially, they don't like it, and a lot of the coaches don't like it either. It's just a trend, I think, and I think eventually they'll probably go back to standard catching, because I just don't think they're getting that much out of it. There's more pass balls, there's more wild pitches, and they're not stealing that many strikes. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but I don't like it.
At the top end, it might sort of weed its way out with the ABS in there, but I don't know what'll happen. Below that, I was pretty traditional. I didn't have the best arm, but I definitely took pride in receiving and not letting the ball hit the back net. So I thought I was more athletic, in that stance, but it wasn't around, so I never really tried it, and I'm sure as hell not fit enough to start trying anything like that now.
Yeah, and I just wish they'd go back to the traditional style, and I just think the catchers makes them more athletic. They can block better, they can stick and frame better, and their footwork down to second's got to be better when they're already in a squat than if they have to somehow come off the ground first. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I think some of the receiving on the low pitches, I guess I kind of get the glove action, but until if I was actually able to do it, it just feels like you're not able to block as well, which, and then you've got to anticipate every pitch is going to be a wild pitch. So, getting that one that's running up in there that hit his chin, or spiking breaking balls, all those sorts of things that, I never waved a glove at it. It hit me in the shoulder or the neck or something, but it didn't hit the back net.
There you go. Blocking is a lost art because of this new style, and it's what made catchers really tough back in the day. And you had to be a guy to go back there with that gear on. You had to be a guy that knew you were going to take shots throughout the game, and you didn't mind it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mind it. I thought every other position was boring. Sorry to all the other 8 guys out there, but yeah, I don't know why I just caught onto it. I liked working hard, and it always kept me in the game, and that's why I liked it.
Yeah, every single pitch, you know what's going on, and you got a different perspective than every single other player on the field because you're looking out and they're looking in. So, yeah, it's the position that commands the most attention and the most leadership, for that matter. So it's no wonder that Ibby took that spot. You end up getting involved with Cronulla, playing in your later years at the top level of the club, and you get involved in admin, and that's when you really got to see what the political side of baseball's like, and the goods and the bads, and how hard some of that committee stuff is, and the reflection that it has on the field. So anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's as long as I've been in sort of administration, like everyone that you look at has got a passion for it, and they all do it different ways. And they've all learned different things along the way. So their support network is probably the biggest key to all of it. If they've sort of come through with a good group of people and some clear direction, you tend to see the organisation is better. Everyone has clear roles. The way that our guys worked, I mean, I'll give credit to them. They did a lot more behind the scenes than probably I did. I was a lot more sort of wanting to be on the tools, managing, coaching, those sort of things. I really enjoyed that part of it, put my time in where I could, but I certainly there's guys in the club that put in hours, much like any volunteer, that just had a passion for it, wanted to see the club succeed. But yeah, you definitely do see, differing opinions when there's passion involved, which direction we should go and critical decisions. So you do get some politics, and sometimes choices got to be made, and some people aren't happy about it.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk about what it's like to be working for Baseball Australia, how you ended up getting into that position, how you advanced in your positions within Baseball Australia, and how cool it is to be having a job in the game of baseball. Because, when I was a little kid, I always knew I was going to be in a game, and you try to stay in it in all the different ways you can. And for me, it's been player, it's been coach, it's been development guy, it's been scout. Now it's media and still development. But it's cool to see all the different sides of the game. So we're going to talk about that and what led you into wanting to do baseball as a career when we return to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast with the Baseball Australia's national tournament manager, Micheal Ibbotson. Ibby, thanks for sticking around. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. Don't go away. We have more from Ibby when we return. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera.
This is Andrew Reynolds, voice of the Sydney Blue Sox, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Hi, my name's Chris Oxspring. World baseball traveled, played in 4 major leagues across the world, United States, Japan, Korea, and Australia, and I listen to the Sandlot Radio Network in Australia.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG.
Crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico. When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
It was pretty much decided for me to play baseball when I was born.
The Sandlot's where it all starts, doesn't it?
I wasn't bigger than everybody. I just threw harder.
It doesn't take any talent to hustle.
If you don't pull for the Dodgers, there's a good chance you may not get into heaven.
Something happening here.
Welcome back to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera. We're back with Baseball Australia's national tournament manager, Micheal Ibbotson. We're back on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast with the Baseball Australia National Tourney Manager. That means AYC for boys and girls. It means all the different age groups of AYC. It means every tournament for Little League. That's Little League, Intermediate League, Junior League, Senior League, and that's also the open age women's tournaments as well. That's a lot of scheduling that you do for this Baseball Australia group. Let's talk about how we got into this job. What made you want to have baseball be your career? Because it's been mine too, and it's rare in Australia to have guys in a baseball job.
Yeah, I'll keep the long story as short as I can. I enjoyed coaching from an early age. I started helping out my brother's team when I think I was 12. And then it was umpiring, coaching where I could. as soon as I got through to the grade club, the second I was out of 18s, I was coaching the 18s, right through to managing. And then I looked at some career things. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was actually an aircraft engineer for a little while. I worked with my dad, which was great. It just wasn't the path for me, and started coaching business with my mates, saw how we went with that. And a role come up, part-time role at Baseball New South Wales back in 2013. And I was fortunate enough to be given the job there. Worked through just about every role in the organisation through to 2021. Full programs, coaching, education. I think I was interim the high performance manager for a little while. Then finished with Little League and full facility audit on the whole state. So kind of ticked a few boxes there administratively. I had to leave because, baseball, we're just working in sport in general. There's not a heap of money in it, and living in Sydney is expensive. So I didn't grow up wanting to make pizza for a living, but I ended up buying into a business and had that for about 15 years. So that was kind of my job, and so I could do my love job, but it was like a 65-hour week just trying to crush it out. But I love every second of working in the sport I love, why wouldn't you? And then, I had to leave just because my business partner left, so floated around doing that for a bit. Got a job in bowls because, I can't really throw a baseball anymore, and I play in bowls. Love lawn bowls. But, I saw a job come up, the national tournament manager job, and when it was posted, I was like that. When I was working in Baseball New South Wales, that was the fun bit. That was the part I really loved about it, running state championships, seeing people coming to baseball and just loving being around it for, days on end. And, I got some organisational skills, so I put my name in the ring and was, again, fortunate enough to get that job. So here I am, and it's, my favourite job easily I've ever had, and, looking forward to sticking with this one for a while.
Yeah, and the amount of work that it is, too, like I said, because organizing a schedule for a tournament when there's every state represented, that's a big job. Plus the venue management, the umpires, the schedule itself, and, the bracketing and how do you advance in the tournament. All those things, it's a massive job, and weather can throw it all into a frenzy. And I seen that happen to you a couple of years ago when it was at Blacktown, and it just wouldn't stop raining.
Yeah, I haven't got the best record with weather. Yeah, the tarp shoes generally get a pretty good workout. So I've gotten used to doing some reschedules and remapping some tournaments. But again, I've got to give credit. There's a lot of good people around. We get a hold of some great tournament directors and coordinators, the hosts that we have. There's so many people involved. I guess in my position is just being really clear about sort of what the expectations are, making sure everyone's, you got to trust that everyone's going to do their job. They're all invested. So if everyone's going to do their job, then we get through fine. We just got to communicate. The hard one is making sure that all the people that sort of don't really know the teams that are coming, the new coaches and EOs and the parents are just so much uncertainty about maybe going to their first tournament. A lot of that is a lot of work in the back end to try and make sure we provide as much information and direction as we can so people aren't getting there and stressed out what's happening, what's going on. They can turn up and enjoy. So all the accommodation and flights and buses and all that stuff, there's a bit involved, but we 2.5 years or close to 2.5 years in the role now. I think we've made some good headway in getting ahead of all of that and really putting ourselves in a position where people can hopefully stress a lot less and just enjoy the baseball.
And this year you mentioned the weather. I think the heat followed you down to Melbourne, didn't it? So instead of getting rained out everything, it was like 40 degrees every day. So you guys had to endure the heat. And that's umpires, that's players, that's coaches, that's the fans, all trying to figure out how to get through a day without heat exhaustion.
Yeah, we had to cut a day. I think we finished about 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that, and we didn't get back out there till maybe 7 o'clock. So cut the middle of the day, and those things just pop up. You just got to be ready and be agile and tell people what your decision is, and then just put all the pieces around it and get back out there.
When you were a little kid to first start playing at age 10, did you think that this late into your life that you would still be heavily involved in baseball and even having it be your career?
There's no way I could see that this was my career, not a chance. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, even right through teenage years. The the idea that I could be doing this was the moon. Like it just didn't exist. You had these sort of thoughts about, hey, am I ever going to be good enough? Maybe I get a signature and see what happens. But that wasn't me. You go to the next stage, and once you start working, you turn into, full adult mode. It's jobs like this are hard to get, and I'm very grateful that it's my job.
He's Micheal Ibbotson. He's worked for Baseball New South Wales and now for Baseball Australia as the national tournament manager, which is a massive job. And I've seen you out there running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and a lot of people asking you a lot of questions, and I've felt the pressure, and I don't envy that, because it's usually that tournament director that people have the most amount of questions for when it's all going down.
Yeah. Like I said, hopefully you prepare well enough so that the big issues are the ones you can't really control. You got your plans in place. I know that's sounds all very political and straight bad answer, but I mean, you just got to get ahead of as much as you can so those sort of things don't catch you on the hop. And sometimes parents just got a thought, or a coach has got a thought that maybe you didn't think of, and you just got to be genuine and say, hey, I might have to get back to you on that because, that one wasn't on the list.
That's one of those traditional Aussie things where you say, leave it with me, mate.
Yeah.
He's Micheal Ibbotson. He's a lifetime baseball guy now. Started at 10, and here he is as an old man still doing baseball. Ibby, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. I want to say it was my honor to have you, and I love the fact that you are still in the game of baseball.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and it's always good to chat with you. There's nothing better than sitting here talking about baseball, right? So
no doubt.
The longer I can stay in this chair and you can do the same, and we can just keep living the dream, whether we're on the field or not, I'm happy with that.
We know what's cool about radio. First of all, I got a great face for it. And second of all, you can keep doing it when you're old. Like once I break and I can't be out there throwing BP and giving demos anymore, I can still talk about it. So that's one thing that I'm excited about, is I think I still have a decent career left in using my knowledge of the game and my voice to share it.
Yeah, I've always thought, maybe there's a career I run into where the stars align, I could be a commentator. I love talking baseball, but that's a lot of work too. I've seen some of the guys that we work with at our tournaments and do the ABL. The amount of research and time they put into that. I'm just a guy that likes, gibbering about what I see on the field and just enjoying myself. So you never know. Like this one. I didn't know this 30 years ago, so you never know.
Well, I had a chance to I did a game with Andrew, an ABL game, and I must say I really enjoyed it. And he's a really, really good play guy. And Australia's lucky to have him, because over the years I've heard some subpar broadcasting of the sport here. But Andrew is as good as anyone I've ever heard. And his knowledge and his delivery and his timing, everything, cadence, the dude is really good at it.
Yeah, excellent. He's top shelf. And always, anytime you hear him, I've sat on a couple and done some colour here or there when I've got an hour free just to sort of clear the mind at a tournament. Yeah, but he is excellent, and even better, he's a Cardinals fan too. So.
Yeah, that's right, because he grew up in Arkansas and is the closest team.
Yeah.
All right, Ibby. Well, again, I want to thank you for being a guest. I'd like to thank all of our guests on this week's Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. We had Baseball Australia's National Tournament Manager, Micheal Ibbotson. Thank you, Ibby. We also had WA Team Australia's Women's National Shortstop and new player in the Women's Professional Baseball League, arguably the best female player in Australia, Caitlin Eynon, and our Sandlot Champion Character of the Week from the St. Pat's Club. I call him Grins because he's a happy guy when he plays baseball, Liam Alexander. Remember, you can listen to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast every weekend on Sirius XM Radio MLB Network podcast platform, and on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pandora, Apple Music, and Simplecast. Please explore the Sandlot Radio Network Facebook and Instagram pages for video content with the major league players. Also, check out SandlotRadioNetwork.com website for photos and reels from our long history of covering everything from the Sandlot to the big leagues. The Sandlot has been presented by Diego Austin Talavera and sponsored by the Sandlot Radio Network, Grit Sports Collective, Guzman E. Gomez, GYG, the best Mexican in Australia, and Freestyle Pools Sydney, pools that withstand the test of time. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. I'm your host, Tad Powers.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter. For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
Is this heaven?
It's Iowa. Is there a heaven?
Oh, yeah. It's the place dreams come true.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG.
Crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
Do you want more than just wins for your kids? Do you want confidence, character, and grit? At Grit Sports Collective, we help young athletes play with purpose and train with passion. With elite coaching in baseball and basketball, we're building more than skills, we're building competitors. Because greatness starts with mindset and is earned through sweat. Grit Sports Collective. Play fierce, train harder. Now enrolling in San Diego, California. Visit gritsportscollective.com and sign up today.